Hey, what's up guys? Let's talk about Ponyo. So this is a Japanese anime fantasy film that came out in 2008 and is of course directed by Hayao Miyazaki from Studio Ghibli. It's about a goldfish who is given the name Ponyo when she befriends a 5-year-old boy named Sosuke and then goes on a journey to become human. There's a bit more to it than that, but I don't want to give too much away for those of you who've never seen this film, especially now that we are at its 10th anniversary. I was lucky enough to actually see this film in theaters when it first premiered, and now I've seen it again in theaters 10 years later. And you know what? It hasn't aged a day. It was brought back to US theaters as part of Studio Ghibli Fest 2018 and is the first film to start off the festival this year. This was definitely a great way to kick things off, and man, I forgot simply how much I love this film. Where do I start? I mean, there's so many great things about it, whether it's the music, obviously the visuals and the animation are amazing. That is definitely to be expected with Studio Ghibli. But one thing I still find very fascinating about this film is even though it's G-rated and mostly features characters that are children and is geared towards kids, it is very, very much an entertaining film for adults as well. It is simply adorable. First off, it's got this beautifully simple story that is presented with such energy that it really takes its time in just showing you everything you really need to know and build up to make this film work. As I mentioned, this film has two leading characters which are both children, and that gives a very great, interesting perspective as they are given so much prominence in this film. There are so many moments too where you just get to see them interact and just see how cute kids can be. It is one of those films that will just put a smile on your face time after time. But don't get me wrong, there are plenty of great adult characters in this film as well, whether it's Ponyo's dad or Sosuke's mom or some of the older folks that you just see throughout the film. They're given a lot of personality too and little bits of dialogue where they're not just kind of thrown in the background. They get up close and personal with a few of them at times. I also like, for example, how Ponyo's dad kind of resembles like he might be sort of the villain or the antagonist, but really he's not. There isn't really a character in this film really who comes off as that type of person. But there are certainly elements to this film where people are in different conflict with what they want to have happen and what they're trying to do or protect. And for those of you who've never seen Ponyo, there are some of the most visually stunning animated scenes that you will ever see, hand-drawn or otherwise. For example, probably one of the most incredible shots in this film is during this great big storm when Sosuke's mom is driving them away, and out of nowhere you see Ponyo riding on these big waves of fish, and it is just amazing. It's gorgeous. The music rises and it simply just leaps off the screen. It is a very great moment in cinematic history. One thing this film also does really well is show you a lot of visual storytelling cues. They allow a lot of the characters' body languages to define what may or may not be happening a lot of the times. Like how we start to learn how Ponyo has this very interesting magical power that we don't quite know and it's never really fully explained, but we kind of are given the opportunity to make it out for ourselves what it is. As I mentioned, this film looks just as great as it did 10 years ago, if not better due to the Blu-ray transfer, and it is up there with Miyazaki's best. Simply put, see this movie as soon as you can, whether it's tonight in the very last showing for the festival or on disc from GKID's new reissue Blu-ray or Disney's old one. As you can tell, I highly recommend this and you will not be disappointed. Ponyo is everything special, magical, and wonderful that Hayao Miyazaki expresses, holding steady 10 years later as one of his most endearing, adorable, and beautifully crafted films. And that's why this film is a diligent pick. So guys, did you get to see Ponyo at Studio Ghibli Fest this year? How would you rank it among Miyazaki's other films? And did you know it was actually inspired in part by The Little Mermaid? For fans of Disney animation, if that didn't intrigue you to watch it, I don't know what will. My name is Dylan, and if you love entertainment, subscribe to my channel while this video ends and send me a thumbs up before you go. Thanks for watching and stay diligent.